I wanna be Batman, cause everybody really ain't.
What's up, everybody? This is mjaw here with mjaw Reviews, and I'm bringing you guys my number 3 pick for the top 10 favorite Batman stories of all time. Now, it's not the ones that, you know, are better than all the other ones, it's just the ones that I like the most. Now, number 3 is a definite must-have if you're a Batman fan. Now, it's a must-have. I'm sorry. It's just a must-have. It's a must-read if you're a Batman fan. If you're a Batman fan and you have not read this, and believe me, there are ones out there that have not read this, and I just cannot believe why you would not read this book. It is just awesome. But there's a lot of people out there who haven't read this book. But, you know, I just, wow, I frown upon you if you have never read this book and you're a Batman fan. I really frown upon you. This is like the bomb diggity. Alright, let me show you it right now. Batman The Long Halloween. Yes, and of course it makes it to my number 3, which makes you think, what the hell is your number 1, right? I mean, this was going to be my number 1. This was probably going to be my number 1. But I lost the list that I actually read out for all of my top favorites since number 6, and I had to redo my number 5 to number 1, and I didn't remember which ones I picked, so I had to redo the whole thing. But this was going to be my number 1, but I had to think about it really a lot, and I know which my number 1 is now. I had to change it. I really had to change it up, and I had to change my number 2. I had to change that whole order right there. This was going to be my number 1, so you can just imagine what is my number 1 now. But let's get into my number 3. Now, before I get into all this, before I even get into doing this whole shebang right here, it's going to be hard to tell you guys the whole storyline in this book, because can you see how thick this book is? Yeah, you might say, well, I can finish that in a day. And I did. I finished it in 2 days with non-stop reading and breaks in between, because, you know, I had to eat and take a crap in between it. But it'll take you like 2 days, maybe 2 days and a half, if like, well, actually, you know what? This would actually take you a day and a half to read, because it's really a fast read and it's a lot into it. But if you're like really into it, it'll only take you a day to finish this. I mean, but let's get started. Batman Long Halloween, let me just give you the basic premises of this. Batman Long Halloween is, I think, year 2 of Batman. Now, this is him for beginning, you know, Batman is year 2, you know, just starting it out, doing his thing, getting used to it. This is when Gordon is a captain. I mean, Harvey Dent isn't even Two-Face yet. He gets to be, well, I'm not going to ruin that. Actually, you know, I can say it. Two-Face becomes Two-Face in this. Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face in here. And you see Harvey Dent act as Harvey Dent before he becomes Two-Face, which is really cool. It's a really awesome touch, because you get to see Harvey Dent as Harvey Dent, the essence of Harvey Dent. The I believe in Harvey Dent. The I believe in Gotham City Harvey Dent. That's really cool. And they really made him look like a cool dude in here. And he actually did some cool things, like, if you're used to watching like the cartoons and animated series before you started reading comic books, you usually just remember Harvey Dent as being Two-Face and being a bad guy. But if you read this and you see Harvey Dent before he becomes the criminal mastermind that he is now, you'll begin to understand and I think appreciate Harvey Dent a lot more than when you see him as Two-Face. Now, Batman is in here with Selina Kyle. Selina Kyle is basically in the beginning of her Catwoman stages, because believe it or not, in year 1, well, I'm not gonna actually, in year 1 she's basically a prostitute, and you know she looks kind of mannish in that one, which I really didn't like that touch on her, but they fixed all that up and made her basically Catwoman in here, with being a pretty Catwoman. Like, she's really hot, she's smoking hot in here, and this storyline basically takes place in a Falcone party. Like, it's I forgot. I think it was a reunion or some kind of party that they were at, and Harvey Dent is out there taking out license plate numbers for like all these convicted, basically on parolees sort of thing, just keeping his tabs on them. And in here, it gives shadows of Batman: The Dark Knight. Now, when I say that, it shows Harvey Dent, Batman, and Gordon on the top of the rooftop, you know, debating on what they should do about the crime family. Because the crime family basically has their hands on Gotham City. They are the basic criminals of Gotham City, along with the lunatics like, you know, Joker and all those other psychopaths out on the street. But they're basically the main focus of this whole story is the Falcone family. And you'll see that as you read this, because during this whole storyline, the Falcone family members are getting hit each and every holiday. Every holiday, there's one Falcone member, family, or from the bottom up, is getting hit and getting killed. And they're wondering, like, who the hell is doing all this? And that's basically the whole moral of this story, is finding out who's the killer. And they start calling him as the holiday killer. And Batman, he starts doing this whole Silence of the Lambs thing, as talking to the Calendar Man, because the Calendar Man has sort of like the same MO, killing people on certain holidays or just different months. I forgot what was the reason for him killing people, but it was sort of like the same MO. And he's talking to him, asking him his ways, and yeah, that's basically what happens. And the weapon that they use is a pistol, like an old-ass pistol, with a baby bottle on the top to silence the thing. And every time after they kill the person shooting them, they would put an item for that holiday there. Like Halloween, they would put a pumpkin next to the body, or Christmas, they'll put a present. Easter, put I think an egg, or Valentine's Day, a box of chocolates, or something like that, next to the dead body and where they were shot and this, that, and the other. And it's just really awesome. It's a really awesome book. Now, I'm not going to get into the storyline like I do with all the other ones, because there's so much stuff happening in here. It's sort of impossible to tell you what happened in each and every section without me just reading it recently. Because I read this, I think, a couple of years ago? 3 years? 2? Forgot. It was a long time ago. But I think it was 2 years ago I read this. And it's just an awesome, awesome, awesome book. And you will definitely appreciate this book a lot more if you read it. I'm not going to tell you what happens at the end. Of course not. But if you're a Batman fan and you really want to look at some good readings, and definitely pick it up. But another thing that's really good about this book is you do not have to read year 1 to understand what's happening in this. You can just jump right into this book and you know who the characters are, because it's basically the beginning of the career of Batman. Because usually in books like Batman R.I.P. or Hush or Death in the Family, or no, not really Death in the Family, but Black Glove, all those other ones, you would have to actually, or Killing Joke, you'd have to actually know the backstories of certain people. But this book is really awesome because you don't need year 1 to read this, but it helps. It shows whatever. But it might confuse you with Catwoman being in this and that at the same time, and going from a prostitute to being a sexy lady who's Catwoman and sort of related to, I'm not gonna tell you who, but When in Rome is sort of like a afterwards thing. I don't have that book, but I did buy it. And I gave it to my girlfriend because she really loves Catwoman. So I got her that book to read. I haven't read that one. I haven't gotten a chance. But I'm really looking forward to reading it. But it's sort of like a later on story after this. Yeah, it's after this. I think it's after this or before it. I'm pretty sure it's after it. Because she finds out something at the end of this. And yes, definitely. It's one of my favorites. It has to be as number 3. This is my number 3 pick. You should definitely read it. If you see this book and you're really looking for something to really enjoy, you'll definitely enjoy this. Even don't get intimidated by the thickness of this book. Do not get intimidated. It is a really awesome book. It's not boring. It doesn't stop. It just keeps going, and it keeps you questioning who the hell is killing all these people off. Really awesome. And it sort of gets you going to think that it's maybe Harvey Dent. It's maybe someone in the family themselves. It may be a rogue. It may even be someone locked up. You never know until later on. So definitely pick it up. This is my number 3. An awesome book. It's just awesome. It's just pure awesomeness. Awesomeness in essence. Awesomeness in physical form. God damn, it's just a really good book. So, my number 3. Yes. So, I'll catch you guys later. Top 10 favorite Batman stories of all time. Catch you guys later.